I have my certificate in vestibular rehabilitation, which focuses on patients with dizziness and balance disorders. It's been very rewarding because a lot of times it's a very short-lived treatment plan and the patient has remarkable results in a small amount of time.
You know, you see fires on TV all the time. You don't understand what the families are really going through until you've lived it. The day before the fire, life was good. We went to bed, we woke up, and we had nothing. If it was not for Country Financial, we would still have nothing.
And here we are for game number 2 of the match tonight. And no, it's not already 25-17. That's what happens when the guy doesn't reset things. But we'll do that here in just a moment. And getting ready for Unity and West Prairie, the varsity contest. Glad you're alongside once again here. As we get ready for that, I'm going to have to duck away because, as usual, I will have to do the PA duties for everything. So, like I said, we'll step aside. We'll do a few things. We'll get back to it and go to it, as the Mustangs, a very, very good team. Going to be one thing they have, John, again, you can't teach tall. And that's what the Lady Mustangs have a lot of.
No, you absolutely cannot, Greg. And if you tuned in with us last week, you saw that West Prairie played another team full of tall girls, and they were able to handle them rather well in both sets. We'll see if West Prairie can take advantage of the few mistakes that this Mustang team makes and maybe come out of here with a W tonight.
And we do thank our pregame sponsor. JoJo's Gaming Parlor offers the top gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink and a chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Also on game nights, check out the TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH Events. Live on the big screens. Come join your friends at JoJo's, located at 776 North Cole Street, Bushnell, and cheer our area teams on to victory. McDonough District Hospital athletic trainers and the MDH Rehabilitation Center, locations in Bushnell and Macomb, provide expert help to cycling student athletes in the prevention, care, and rehabilitation of all athletic injuries. Learn more at mdh.org. McDonough District Hospital, more than hospital care, a hospital caring. And again, I will step aside and do my public address announcing duties. I will be back in a little bit. We'll continue just watching warm-ups here tonight.
between the Lady Mustangs of Unity High School and your West Prairie Cyclones. At this time, everyone please rise. Gentlemen and ladies, remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Now the starting lineups. First, for the visiting Lady Mustangs of Unity. Number 3, Ashlyn Arnsman. Number 12, Brooklyn Steeple. Number 10, Taylor Nichols. Number 23, Kyra Carruthers. Number 4, Kylie Berry. Number 20, Caroline Knox. Number 33, Libero Taylor Cloudshaw. The Mustangs are coached by Seth Westmeyer and Sir Charles Bolton. And now, ladies and gentlemen, see the Storm Clouds Club go. Listen and feel the big breeze coming. It is your West Prairie Cyclones! And now the starter, number 3, Grace Vanonic. Number 9, Allie Arnold. Number 6, Kinley Walsh. Number 5, Kinley Wright. Number 8, Addison Nismee. Number 12, Ellie Hall. And your libero, Jersey Brown. Head coach, the legendary Terry Paul, assisted by Drew Schneider and Patty Hunt. Your officials this evening, Lisa Rosendale and Amelia Tierney. Good luck to both teams tonight.
Well, John, now my voice is all worn out after that. You have a little fun with stuff like that. And let me hit the chloroseptic. All right. Here we go for the varsity contest. The Cyclones in the gray uniforms with the black normals with the white trim. The Mustangs in the maroon with baby blue, I would guessingly call it. And the black trunks here this evening. It'll be Grace Vanonic to serve it first here. Catch all the highlights tonight with one Mr. Chris Dewar, the Dew Man, in the house tonight. Ellie Powell off, Jersey Brown will come in as we get ready to serve it here tonight. Vanonic will go into the jump serve into the back row. And a hard serve off of Barry. Going to bring across is Stiefel off of the hands of Arnold, back and down, and Unity takes a 1-point lead. Serving first for the Mustangs is Knox, serving off of Brown. Vanonic up with it. Fakes, comes to Despain, and Knox able to dig it up. They couldn't get it out of the net as Nichols couldn't get a hold of it. And Nichols won Mr. Brad Cameron in the house to see her play tonight. Serve by Allie Arnold, going to be dropped across off of Carruthers, helped out by Godshaw. Carruthers brings it across, and Brown has it up. Vanonic out for Despain, tipped, and tipped up there by Knox, falls down and in. Unity can't get it across, and it comes back over to the Cyclones of West Prairie. They take a lead at 2-1. Served by Arnold off Godshaw up to the setter Nichols, and pounding that one down and in. My goodness, Kyra Carruthers. Oh, I think they felt that over in Blandonsville, John.
Yeah, a huge hit there from the Mustangs, and that is definitely going to turn into some momentum for this team, and we'll see if they can start steamrolling as that one gets sent off the back wall.
And 3-2, the Mustangs take a lead. At the serve for the Mustangs, Brooklyn Stiefel. Her serve off of Jersey Brown. Popped high in the air to Vanonic. Back set for Welsh. She'll hammer it. Stiefel brings it back, and Despain digs it up for West Prairie. Vanonic to Despain. Knocks it in, and it's a side out for West Prairie. Ellie Powell will replace libero Jersey Brown. As they do the three-man weave there, Kinley Welsh will serve with a 3-3 tie in game one. Serve, back row off of Stiefel. Godshaw will help it out, and then popped across by Barry. Welsh pops it high, and Vanonic bumps it over. And now it's picked up there by Knox. They couldn't get it out of the net. Carruthers just couldn't get it, and West Prairie takes a 4-3 lead. Kinley Welsh comes to it again. Her serve, screaming line drive out of bounds. Evens us up at 4, and that brings Jersey Brown back into the contest. As back to serve will be Taylor Nichols for the Unity Mustangs. Her serve off of Brown. Under the net it goes, and the Mustangs take a 5-4 advantage. Ava Beck will come in. Kelly Wright will go out for West Prairie. As the serve will once again come from Nichols. Serve, low line drive to Spain, gets it flipped across by Beck, and now played by the Mustangs. It was Barry, hammering it off the head of Brown. And Wright comes back in, Beck goes out as a 6-4 Mustang lead. Taylor Nichols. Her serve off of Lauren Powell into the contest. Up front for Despain, off the net. Godshaw gets it. Set up for Stiefel, the back row attack, and it went off the box and down with a little bit of the smooch. Makes it 7-4, 3-point lead for the Unity Mustangs. Nichols, high, deep for Lauren Powell. Up to Vanonic. Ellie Powell comes to it, drops it in and good, and the Cyclones get a big stop there. Big to stop that momentum, John, for the Mustangs as they try to keep themselves in the ballgame.
Yeah, and whether it's a big block or a big hit like you see right there, West Prairie just needs to find something to get the momentum swung back in their favor, only being down 2 points here early.
Ava Beck serve comes off Stiefel. They're going to set it to the outside, tapped over by Knox. And now Vanonic brings it up to Despain, stuffed at the net. Carruthers saying thanks for the gumball Mickey. Coming back in is at number 30, Ashlyn Arnsman. And there have been Arnsmans forever and ever at Unity. That's going to bring Carruthers into it. Booming serve off Brown. High in the air, it is Despain. Stuffed, and Brown not going to be able to get it. The roof going to make it a 9-5 advantage. We're going to take a timeout. This is TSSR Game Time Live presented by MBH.
Dry needling is where you insert a filiform needle into a muscle, a tendon, a ligament, sometimes a bone, and it promotes blood flow and circulation so that it heals that particular painful area.
Back here we are. I want to thank some of our fine folks making our broadcast possible, including the Community News Brief. For all your local news, subscribe to the Community News Brief Weekly Edition, mailed directly to your home every Friday as an option. You can also receive Monday and Wednesday editions by email. All of this for only $42 a year, $38 per year. 65 or older, senior copies purchased at select locations in Bushnell, Colchester, and Blandonsville. Lauren Powell will help it across. Carruthers takes it back row up to the setter Nichols. Set for Arnsman, who did not get it across in the recommended daily allowance of 3 hits. So makes it 9-6. Despain serves it. Stiefel's got it in the back row. They'll set it up top. And that one Arnsman pounded down. Brown up with it to Despain to Powell. She'll tip, and Carruthers is right there. They're going to load, or Barry is right there. They tip it to her. She'll tip to West Prairie, and then from Brown to Powell across the Cyclone, or set up at the net, and then Knox hits it into the net, so it makes it a 9-7 lead. The Cyclones fighting their way back in here. Despain. Stiefel going to bring back to the net. Ellie Powell says have it back. Carruthers now up. Nichols over to Arnsman, dug there by Ava Beck, and Despain will be set up from Vanonic, sends it deep back row. Stiefel's there. Carruthers up for Barry, she hits it into the net, and it's a 9-8 lead. Two teams kind of playing the inchworm game. One goes out, one comes back. Despain, back row off Stiefel. Popped high, it is stepped through by Barry. Beck gonna set it up for Despain. Off the box and down and good. Another one of those with a kiss. And we are square at 9.
Yeah, and just as it seemed like Unity was starting to build some momentum and start to snowball into building on their lead, West Prairie snaps back with a few big plays and is able to tie the game.
Despain serves it off Stiefel. They're going to set it outside. Arnsman off the blocks and down as Unity gets a side out back. And coming back was Kylie Berry. She'll let it go. Serve high, deep floater off of Lauren Powell. Back set, it is tipped over by Ellie Powell. Popped up by Berry over hit by Barry from Nichols, and now Beck brings it back across through the hands of Carruthers. Nice try at the save off the wall by Barry. This is not volleyball, although high school volleyball would be kind of fun. Kinley Welsh in, Jersey Brown back to serve. Her serve into the back row, pop tie there by Barry. Going to be set up for Stiefel. Stiefel off the blocks, Lauren Powell high up with it. Set for Despain, brought through. And now Carruthers is going to help it out. Up to Stiefel. She brings it to Brown in the back row. Vanonic set for Welsh. Tapped up by Barry. Nichols runs it through, and then Stiefel brings it across off of Despain. Vanonic flips it over, but out of bounds. And that's an 11-10 lead for the Mustangs. Serve through to Despain. Vanonic set up for Powell. Eaten up by Arnsman, but knocked out of bounds. And an 11-11 tie, side out back to West Prairie. Callie Wright will replace Ava Beck. And Grace Vanonic will go back to serve. Vanonic, her serve right through, popped high to the net by Barry across, and everybody looks and goes, yeah! Boy, those are opportunities you can't give up on there, John.
Yeah, and if there's one thing West Prairie has to do in order to win this game, it's going to be minimizing mistakes. As we've seen in the JV team, and we've seen for many years now with this Mustangs program, mistakes by their team are hard to come by. So if West Prairie is going to do anything, they need to minimize on their own.
Arnsman out, Godshaw in, and Carruthers caught with her hand in the net jar. 12-12 tie. Allie Arnold will serve. And Stiefel brought up. Now Nichols to Carruthers. She'll hammer it off the blocks. And the Cyclones not able to get it. So 13-12 lead for Unity. Lauren Powell in. Allie Arnold out for the Cyclones. Serve is through off of Brown up to Venonic. Set up. And is Despain blocked again as they are starting a block party up front there. 14-12. They do have quite a size advantage. Even their libero is quite a bit taller than our libero, or West Prairie's libero. Served by Stiefel, taken by Brown up to Venonic. And she's going to get into the net, so it's going to be a 15-12. And Stiefel really hammering that ball. That West Prairie, her serve off of Powell. Brown has to help it. And Venonic bumps it through. Stiefel underneath it is now Carruthers. Flips it over. Dug by Welsh to Venonic to Despain. Down the blocks it goes and good. Big stop there by the Cyclones. As you could just feel that Unity was building momentum. Welsh steps back now, ready to let it fly, rips it through. And Godshaw sends it over into the crank zone. They will give it back. And West Prairie makes it 15-14.
And again, West Prairie sticking with Unity every step of the way. I think we're in for a good game here, Greg.
Welsh, her serve out of bounds. Well, broadcaster jinx, John, welcome to it.
What can I say?
Serves it out of bounds. Jersey Brown in. Back to serve is Taylor Nichols for the Mustangs of Unity. Her serve, high floater. Off Powell over to Venonic. Set outside for Despain. Blocked. Set high. Nichols over to Barry. Back row and good. Lauren Powell made a valiant effort after it, but couldn't get there. 17-14, 3-point advantage here. And glad you are watching along at home. Let us know where you are watching us from. Serve off Powell. And now they're going to set it outside for Despain into the net. And now the lead out to 4. West Prairie going to have to get something going. Nichols the serve, high short floater off of Brown. They're going to set up for Ellie Powell. She'll hit it out of bounds, and it's 19-14. Terry Paul will talk it over, so will we. This is TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH. And we're talking about, hey, if you're wanting to see some 5th and 6th grade basketball, come up to Good Hope tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, South Fulton. One of the other things I do, coach 5th and 6th grade basketball. Ladies took it on the chin tonight, but we'll get back after it tomorrow. Tom Conklin State Farm. You can talk to Daphne or Evan today at Tom Conklin State Farm in Macomb for surprisingly great rates. Call them at 309-837-1200 or stop and see them at 1221 West Jackson Street, Macomb. Nichols, the short jump serve into the net. And just what the Cyclones needed, John. You don't care how you get it, but getting that side out is important. Ava back in and Callie Wright out. As Beck eyes, flies, line drive, and Barry's going to bring it up. They'll back set it. A hammer by Carruthers, dug up by Venonic. Brown brings it to Venonic. Venonic will attack and drop it in front of Godshaw and makes it 19-16. As the Cyclones trying to work their way back in. Beck, back row. Popped up there by Barry. Then they're going to set it out to the net and into the crowd with a smash. As Caroline Knox, and now Unity will take a timeout. It is 19-17 as we need to thank some of the folks making our broadcast possible. They include this West Prairie game stream made possible by McDonough Telephone's Fiber Internet. McDonough Telephone offers lightning fast and reliable fiber internet, video, phone, and camera systems to the McDonough County area. Call 309-776-3211 to check your availability. United Community Bank services are designed to keep you in the game when you're on the go with online and mobile banking. That's nothing but net to friendly services you can count on from the leader, Community Banking. Choosing UCB is always a slam dunk. Visit a location near you. Branches in Bushnell, Colchester, 2 in Macomb. UCB, member FDIC. Saved by Nichols out of the net, and Barry brings it through to Spain. A little trouble with it, and it makes it a 20-17 side out for the Mustangs. Arnsman will come in. Godshaw will go out. As Carruthers comes to it, screaming line drive off Jersey Brown, tipped by Vanonic, kept alive and bumped over by Unity. Vanonic over to Despain, she'll bump it high. And they'll bring it outside. Barry taps it over, dug up by Powell. Set for Ellie Powell in the middle. And brought up, flipped over by Arnsman. Lauren Powell to Vanonic. Set outside for Despain, this time partially blocked. Kept alive by Nichols. Arnsman high with it, and Barry tips it. Ellie Powell digs. They fake to her, come to Despain, into the net. 21-17. And Unity 4 away from taking this first one home. Kyra Carruthers sets the dribble and pounds it through off Lauren Powell. Now to Vanonic, to Ellie Powell, rejected by Arnsman. Beck keeps alive. Ellie Powell pops it up, and Vanonic brings it over. Nichols to Stiefel, to Barry. She'll tip it long, kept alive by Powell to Powell to Spain, and loaded to Barry. Beck gets it to Vanonic, up for Ellie Powell for West Prairie. Over the block, Arnsman and down, and another side out. 21-18, and I'll tell you what, this is as close as you want it. Serve by Despain, picked up by Stiefel. Unity will load it to the outside. Arnsman on the load up, and that did not get across the tape. 21-19, side out back to West Prairie. As Addie Despain slap dribbles it, comes to it, sends a line drive right between Barry and Carruthers. The download error makes it 21-20. We've got a timeout. Where? On the floor right here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
I grew up in a small town in Missouri, and I like the feel of community. I like knowing the people that I take care of and knowing the people around me, providing care for someone that you know is in this community and helping them to get better.
Back here on TSSR Game Time Live, joined by Mr. John Burton. Glad to have you along, young sir.
I'm glad to be here.
And you and I know we'll do some basketball later on. Great game for this game one, 21-20. Looked like Unity was pulling away at 21-17, and now 21-20.
Yeah, and that's the thing about this West Prairie team. They just never give up. Always seem to find a way to make these games close. And as we say that serve's going to go out of bounds.
And that's going to bring back Kylie Berry to serve for Unity. High in the air off Lauren Powell. Hit sideways. Vanonic now for Despain, the back row attack. The laser beam to Carruthers. And they try to flip it up. Stiefel not doing. That's going to be 4 hits, so makes it 22-21. Kinley Welsh back on. Ellie Powell out. As Jersey Brown serves. Brown. Short shot. Barry sends it right back across. Welsh tips it. Over for Stiefel. Blocked. And rolls off their hands and down. 22-22 tie. A race to 3 now. Served by Brown. High floater. Arnsman's got it. They bring it outside. Tapping it over is Knox. Westbrook gets it back to Arnsman. Dug by Brown again. Vanonic out for Powell. She'll try to tip it, but sent it long along the net, and Unity takes the advantage at 23-22. Caroline Knox serves. Off of Powell, hit sideways. And now they pump it up. It is Welsh. Going to bump it through. Unity loads it up. Barry to Nichols. Set for Arnsman. That's a good one. 24-22. 2-point lead here. And that's going to bring Caroline Knox trying to finish off a hard-fought game one. Serve off of Powell. Popped up in the air and now to Despain. Will hit it out of bounds. Unity takes game number one by a 25-22 margin. And so that's going to send us into our conveniently scheduled game number two. We'll bring that in just a moment right here on TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
Well, we were camping, and then I got a phone call from my neighbor and said that we got hit by a storm. He said, you better come home because there's no roof. He said, I look up and see the sky. You didn't know what you were going to do, where you're going to go, you know, but Country Financial took care of us.
We anticipate something that we hope never happens, but when it happens, we are there to make good on our promise.
I chose physical therapy because I knew I wanted to be in the healthcare field. I wanted to be able to help patients in some way related to more in depth. We get to know our patients, and that's really what kind of sets us apart.
And back here as we head for game number two of the match, Unity taking the first one, a very hard-fought 25-22 over West Prairie. Great game one, a fantastic game one. That was a nice long run by the two teams. And we'll see what comes up here in game number two.
Yeah, and as we saw in that first set, we know this West Prairie team is good, but they really showed it there, being able to hang with one of the better teams in this conference that we would play this year. And like I said, this could possibly be a future regional matchup, and I wouldn't put it past West Prairie if they could pull out a set here and maybe win the third one too, as well as win the regional. As we saw them play in the first set there, they obviously can hang with this bigger team.
And now back to serve is Ashlyn Arnsman. And joined out there by number 20. That is Caroline Knox, Kyra Carruthers, also Taylor Nichols, Kylie Berry, and Brooklyn Stiefel. Arnsman ready to load it up as Benonic gets ready with it. Head up to Welsh, she'll tip it across. Nichols now up to Stiefel, partially blocked, and they'll recover it. Set up for Carruthers at the net, she'll dip it across there. And Beck could not get it, so it makes it 1-0 lead here for the Mustangs. 1-0 lead for the Mustangs as Ashlyn Arnsman will load it up again. Serve off of Despain. Benonic going to set it up. Despain the long run and tipped up by Berry. Stiefel tried to one-hand it, couldn't. Side out back to West Prairie. And I'll tell you, it was a quicker game than they thought. Was scoring 25-22. It was a super quick ball game. Callie Wright comes in. Ava Beck goes out for West Prairie as Grace Benonic will step back and serve it. Benonic, her serve drops in front of Godshaw and good. 2-1, West Prairie taking the advantage. That's the big thing. They really got to get on a run here, John, early. As Unity, they played catch-up all of that game number one, and not a good thing to do with a team like Unity. As Benonic lets that one a little softer shot. Knocks underneath it. Now to Carruthers, off the blocks. Benonic digs. Powell pops high. Kinley Welsh got under that one and launched it to the back wall. It's a 2-2 tie.
Yeah, Greg, and to your point, West Prairie really would like to get out to an early lead here and not hang with this Unity team like they did last game. As you saw, it was a very hard-fought set. As you see a big hit there from Kinley Welsh, resulting in some West Prairie points.
Nope, actually, she hit the out stick.
Oh, okay.
And after all, the out stick is always the out stick. Stiefel again, that's the other thing. These Unity Lady Mustangs serve so well.
Yeah, but so far West Prairie has been doing a good job returning the serve. It's just that the up front play, as we see there from the Unity, has just been a bit much to handle. West Prairie really needs to try to get their hits away from these big blockers up front.
Stiefel again off of Powell. Venonic keeps it alive. Wright can't get it, and it's 5-2. Terry Paul's going to take a timeout already, try to get this run stopped. We'll step aside as well. Good Hope Gardens, located at 445 East Main Street, Good Hope, just east of the North Elementary School. Open April through October, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 10 to 4 p.m. For all your fresh produce needs. I know they've got the pumpkins out right now. Be sure to follow their Facebook page for daily updates. Grover and Mary Jo DeCounter and family invite you to Good Hope Gardens. Come see where it's grown. Country Financial Agent Brett Powell, your farm is your legacy. As the leading farm insurer, Country Financial is here to help protect it. Call Brett Powell, your local country rep, at 309-652-3889 for a free quote today. Just one of the many fine sponsors we have here on TSSR Game Time Live. And glad you folks are alongside watching this here. Serve off of Jersey Brown. Lauren Powell, long run. She got it, and Venonic brings it over. Stiefel works it up to Nichols. Outside it is Barry, and rocketed to the back wall. Allie Arnold will come in. Lauren Powell out for West Prairie, as Arnold will come back to serve it. Nice ball recovery there by one Mr. Jeff Copeland. Serve to Godshaw, up to Nichols. Carruthers on the run, and puts it down and good.
And again,
go ahead.
I was going to say, and again, we see this big upfront play from Unity, resulting in big points there, as they are able to extend their lead out to 3 here.
That brings back Taylor Nichols. She will serve high floater off of Despain to Venonic. Up for Wright at the net, and Carruthers says, no, you don't. Stuffs it right back in Wright's face. And folks, I tell you what, it's a basketball thing, a volleyball thing. You cannot teach tall. Serve to Powell off of Venonic, set for Welsh. She says, gotcha back. And a big stop there by West Prairie. Kinley Welsh getting that there. Ellie Powell will come on. Jersey Brown out. And it's going to get it back here. Kinley Welsh comes to the serve, spanks that one, back row and out of bounds. And mistakes will kill you. Ashlyn Arnsman back in. That's going to bring Kyra Carruthers back to serve, and she sends missiles. Winds it up. Well, she sent a missile right out of bounds. Side out, B-gap, side out. I was going to mention, if I think I might know who Kyra Carruthers' proud papa is. If it is one Mr. Keith Carruthers, longtime basketball coach down there at Unity. Ava Beck ready to let it fly. Sends it line drive. Stiefel is there. Nichols to the outside. Here comes Arnsman. Stuffed by Ellie Powell, and Venonic will say, steal on you inside. Ava Beck serves it off of Stiefel. Arnsman saves it from the bleachers. Nichols pops it high, and now Brown's underneath it. Venonic going to tip it across and catch him napping. A Venonic family recipe. Makes it 8-7, 1 point lead here for the Unity Mustangs. Cyclones trying to mount a run. Ava Beck slap dribbles it. Comes to the line, sends deep back row. Stiefel's there. Nichols going to be set up for Barry. She'll push it down the line. Brown can't quite get there. It is 9-7 and a 2 point lead for Unity. Do want to thank again all our listeners and watchers wherever you happen to be. Tell us where you're listening or watching from. Love to know. Served by Barry, going to go out of bounds and bring it right back over to the Cyclones. Staying close, John, just like game number 1 did.
Yeah, and if we learned anything from that game, we should be in for an exciting finish here, as we see the serve from Addie to Spain going out of bounds, saying, whatever you can do, I can do better, as back-to-back serves are going to go out of bounds.
And a lot of that That's going to bring back to serve Caroline Knox for the Mustangs of Unity. Her screaming line drive comes off of Despain. Set back for Despain, and she hammers it off Carruthers and down. So 10-9, we just again continue that inchworm game where one goes up, here comes the other, one goes up, here comes the other. Jersey Brown will launch it now. Brown deep down the line. Popped up there. They're going to bring it to Stiefel. She'll tip it. Powell takes it. That is Lauren Powell. She'll attack back and get Carruthers in the middle back row. Tipped over by Nichols. Nobody home for the Cyclones. And Unity once again reclaims a 2-point lead. Ashlyn Arnsman set to send it. And it's picked up there by Despain. Set it for Kinley Welsh, and she'll be dug up there by Barry. Nichols to Carruthers, taps it. Vanonic digs. Brown. Load up for Vanonic, the attack, and it'll be hit off Arnsman off the ceiling. Can't get it out of there. And 11-10, here we go again. Godshaw in, Arnsman out, and now Kelly right in. Ava Beck out for West Prairie. West Prairie just trying to get that tie, get into the lead. Serve back row, through the hands of Godshaw and down, and we are tied at 11. It's one of those she couldn't really decide, John, whether to get out of the way or whether to take it. Got kind of caught up in her hands. Grace Vanonic, couple of dribbles, comes to it, and it's picked up by Barry. They're going to set it outside. Long lined up for Carruthers, straight down and good. I'm glad you or I are not in front of that.
Greg, I think I can still see smoke coming off that ball.
I
She
know.
hit that thing so hard.
Stiefel. And brings it to Lauren Powell. Vanonic sets up. Despain the back row attack. Hits it into the net. And earns a 2-point advantage for Unity. First time in a while they've been gapped by more than 1 point. Stiefel with it over to Lauren Powell. Vanonic outside for Welsh. And dug up there by Barry. They're going to load her back up. Dug by Brown. And Vanonic sets it up to Despain. She'll rocket it across. And they're going to say an illegal attack because she was in front of the back row hitter in front of the line. So they're going to step aside. We will as well. This is TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH.
I have my certificate in vestibular rehabilitation, which focuses on patients with dizziness and balance disorders. It's been very rewarding because a lot of times it's a very short-lived treatment plan and the patient has remarkable results in a small amount of time.
Back here at Scioto. And again, want to thank our wonderful folks like Yetter Pharmaco with facilities in Colchester and Macomb. They're an agricultural equipment manufacturer that has been in business since 1930, and they are currently hiring. Start a new career with excellent benefits and starting hourly wages of $18 to $24 per hour. For more information, call 309-776-4111 or visit them online at www.yetterco.com/careers. Stiefel sends it across off of Powell. Up for Vanonic, loading outside Kinley Welsh, dug by Stiefel. And they load up to Barry. Barry pops it over, Brown on the run to Vanonic. Outside load up for Lauren Powell. Blocked, Despain up with it, tipped down by Carruthers, and Welsh brings it high. Now to Powell, tipped down the line. Godshaw tried to save it, could not, and the Cyclones get another big side out. 14-12, Unity by 2. Powell serving off of Stiefel. High in the air, it is Carruthers, blocked by Wright, but she can't control it. Nice job by Callie Wright, but man, Carruthers, you just cannot stop that powerful young lady. Serve through, and Lauren Powell a little trouble with it. That's going to give Unity a 4-point lead. And you got to wonder, you got to hope West Prairie has more gas left in that tank. As Nichols brings it off of Brown. High in the air to Vanonic. Back set for Welsh. who hits it in the net, and it's 17-12. 17-12, 5-point lead, largest for Unity in game number 2. Again, best 2 out of 3 falls. Nichols high, short floater, Brown is there. Vanonic tips it across. Popped up there by Knox. They're going to set it outside to Barry. Tip, Despain takes it this time. They load it for Welsh. Welsh down the line, Stiefel takes it. And Knox just mishit it, one of those where you lost concentration. And I tell you what, I was thinking about that, John. Unity's defenders and diggers ought to be pretty good. They have to face these guys every day in practice.
That is very true. We've seen here, just what you were speaking about there, Greg. Another big hit there from Unity.
And I thank Miss Carruthers for illustrating my point. But yeah, I mean, they've got to be good. You got to play these guys every night in practice. And speaking of Carruthers, she'll unload it off Brown. Vanonic on the run to it. Despain launches that one, then Carruthers got it stuck in her hands. And so 18-14, West Prairie another chance. Back in, right out.
And this West Prairie team just will not go away here. Seeing a lot of heart from these girls, able to stick with them here close and leading to a pretty competitive set number 2.
Carruthers high with it. Back set, it is Barry, puts it down and good. And makes it 19-15, keeping the Cyclones at arm's length. Barry gonna load it up again. High floater off Brown. Vanonic outside for Despain. Knox gonna save it back in. Carruthers brings it back row. Lauren Powell is there. Vanonic tips it over. Stiefel to Nichols, loaded for Knox. Knox blocked. Powell tried to keep it alive, but the Cyclones not going to be able to keep it up. 20-14. The lead out to 6 as Unity trying to. The Cyclones at arm's length. Barry. High floater. There is Brown. Vanonic sets it up for Powell. Puts it in and good, and a humongous side out for the Cyclones.
And just like that, West Prairie right back in business here. Seems like every time Unity gets close to putting this game away, West Prairie comes through with a big play to keep it close.
Carruthers up with it, and Nichols punches it over. Ellie Powell tries to send it back, hits it into the net. So West Prairie gonna have to shut things off here. We'll see if Knox can be the closer. As she winds it, sends it back row to Despain. Vanonic gonna set it high for Powell. She'll load it, and Carruthers digs it up. Nichols gonna set it back row, attack by Barry, and that one, you could see when it was going, it had no chance of dropping in. She sent it out of bounds. Welsh in, Ellie Powell out, and Jersey Brown to serve. Now they've got to make a run, and Unity, of course, wants to shut it off as quick as possible. Jersey Brown brings it to Barry. Nichols outside, Stiefel, dug by Brown. Vanonic gonna pop it high. Despain, back row attack. Carruthers with a dig. Nichols not gonna be able to get it. First time in a while, West Prairie scored 2 in a row. And you got to add it one by one. Serve, backer off Barry. Nichols going to tip it over, kept high by Welsh. Brown underneath it, and Welsh flips it through. High to Nichols, loading Arnsman in the middle. She'll spike it down the net. It's 21-18. Timeout called by Coach Seth Klesmeyer. We'll step aside as well. JoJo's Gaming Parlor offers the best gaming experience in the McDonough County area. Stop in for a cold drink and a chance to take home a nice wad of cash while you're at it. Also on game nights, check out the TSSR Game Time Live presented by MDH Events live on the big screens. Come join your friends at JoJo's located at 776 North Cole Street, Bushnell, and cheer our area teams on to victory. As we'll see if the Cyclones can climb back into this contest. Down 21-18, Jersey Brown at the serve. And Unity defensively, they are hard to build big runs on. Serve to Stiefel. Nichols back set, it is Arnsman, back row and out of bounds. And the Cyclones now within 2. The first one was 25-22. And they are headed that direction. Brown off of Knox, and Carruthers tried to get it across, could not. as their passing struggling a little bit. And the Cyclones within one. Brown picked up there by Stiefel. Nichols going to set it back for her. She mishit it, and we're tied at 21. Another timeout called by Seth Quismeyer. Tied at 21. John, what an improbable comeback here. And I tell you, Unity is really one of those things. You want to close it out so bad, but just not doing the same things they were earlier.
Yeah, a few mistakes here late by this Mustangs team has resulted in West Prairie being able to claw their way back into this game. And you know what? We could be on the verge of a third set here, Greg.
And we'll see. One Mr. Bad, Brad Cameron, predicted that. And I used to joke back when he in his newspaper days that whenever he came in the gym, it was a third set. I need to track down where he is because I'm going to have to see here. The Cyclones trying for the lead. Brown brings it back row. Knocks high with it. They're going to bring it outside. Stiefel back row. Brown can't get it. And the Mustangs take a 22-21 lead. Ashlyn Arnsman will come back to serve it. Arnsman. Back row to Spain, pops it high. Bononic over to Welsh, she'll bump it through. Knox takes it for Unity. Nichols up for Carruthers, boom! Wow, that was just up and down. When she gets up there, I would say her chin's got to be up above the net when she jumps, John.
Yeah, she gets way up there, and she puts that ball down harder than just about anybody in this region.
Serve off of Beck. Bononic will tip it back. Stiefel. Now Nichols coming to Carruthers again. Kaboom! Game and or match point for the Cyclone, or for the Mustangs, as the Mustangs try to close it in two. Serve is through. Despain up with it high to Bononic, outside for Powell. She'll lob it over. Stiefel to Nichols. Nichols to Carruthers. That's a game winner. As the Unity Mustangs take both tonight, as they win the JV 25-14, 25-17, and win the varsity 25-22 and 25-21. We'll step aside for just a moment. Head over into our post-game show. Of course, you are listening to TSSR Game Time Live, presented by MDH.
MDH has committed to having a top-notch OB-GYN unit.
The new facility, the Dolores Cater Schweitzer Women's Center, this is a quality facility that the patients need to match the quality of care.
And then we also have a new clinic.
Well, we were camping, and then I got a phone call from my neighbor and said that we got hit by a storm. He said, you better come home because there's no roof. He said, I look up and see the sky. He didn't know what you were going to do, where you're going to go, but Country Financial took care of us.
We anticipate something that we hope never happens, but when it happens, we are there to make good.
And we're back here as we kind of wait, hoping to get a chance to talk with Coach Terry Paul here this evening, as the Cyclones hanging tough this evening. And we'll get Coach Paul in here. Oh, there we go. Terry, that varsity contest, wow. I mean, really close between the two teams. A great fight tonight, just, kind of separated by inches.
Yes, but we didn't pass at the end of the game. We passed a one-option set. After 21, when it was 21-21, we had the momentum and we did not pass. And we had no offense, and they got to set theirs up. So that was disappointing for sure. We made some errors some errors acceptable and some are silly. We had a couple of those, and in a game of inches, as you said, they make a huge difference. But we brought it. We didn't give up. We did fight. We had energy, and those are good things.
Well, that especially against a team with the firepower like Unity has. I mean, a player like Kyra Carruthers firing down at you. You know, that's one of those things to dig in like that. Now you just know when you go back to practice, okay, here we are. We need to take these more steps. You were right in, and you can illustrate to the girls, you know, just how close they were.
Right, and it's always, for us, it's serve and pass. And we did not do those things well enough tonight. And in set one, we had a service error.
Yeah.
When we had the momentum, we had a service error, and that can't happen.
And a lot of that is, you know, concentration, focus, on where you are, nervousness. You know, it's that calming right before you serve, and that I know that from coaching free throws. It's that calming, and those are the things you have to learn as you go along.
And a routine. Should always be using your service routine, dialed in, knowing what you're trying to do. And yeah, those things are just things we should really have in our toolkit.
And Terry, I know you're kind of on the downhill slide now with the season. I know the last game of the year is at the 20th, or the last regular season game of the year is the 20th. So you're on the downhill slide. Well, now it's time to ratchet those things up a little bit because, you know, before we know it, the regional will be here.
Right, and we have 2 games to make up, too. We have a game with Brimfield, and we have a game with Prairie Heights, and I'd like to see those made up. And so we've got to keep pushing, but we have to work hard in practice, every drill that we do, and I'd like to see them really bring that up a level, too.
All right. Well, thanks, Terry, for joining us here. We had some huge viewership tonight. You know, it's a rivalry game between you and Seth, and of course Charlie. We were joking about the music beforehand. I said, well, it was psychological warfare. Terry was pulling out all the stops just for Charlie. But you know, it's a fun rivalry too. Seth has built a phenomenal program along with Charlie down there at Unity. John and I were talking about the great programs around here. You got Southeastern, Unity. You know, Illini West is trying to put some things together. Just some amazing programs all the way around.
There are Lewiston, Hardham, which we don't play anymore, but have in many times. Yeah, and you know, we're all great friends and respect each other and know that the team we play will be well coached, or at least, you know, sometimes you don't play as well as you'd like. That's sports.
Yep.
But very good friendships and hard-working coaches.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll let you go. Thanks for coming up and seeing us, and we'll look forward to seeing you Thursday night.
All right, thank you.
And that is going to wrap it up from here. This is TSSR Game Time Live. Glad you've been alongside for the evening. We'll sign off here. Thank you, and see you again on Thursday.